Welcome to episode 53 of Pineapples and Thorns. With me today is Fado.
Howdy, howdy.
Hey, Fado. And Peter.
3 stars for the good guys.
Hey. Peter, you want to jump right into CFF news?
Yes, we have had some neat events. We had the Town Hall 15 Royal Rumble. I would like to give a big congratulations to Sky. She ended up pulling out that victory. I think she had a fairly high number, like a fairly high roll number, so that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Brendan. He had a really long run. I think Ace broke his streak, but another good event. I didn't get to participate. Did either of you get to participate?
Yeah, I was in it.
Did not. I was probably at a cheer hockey thing. Oh, shocker.
Shocker.
Yeah, I had a sort of a fairly low number and promptly got eliminated. But it was fun.
Yes, and were you on voice with everyone?
I don't think I was on voice on that one. No.
Fair enough. The Spring Champs is underway. Actually, it should have concluded on Friday.
It should have.
However, due to a unforeseen circumstance, an 11-star to 11-star, 84.7% tie, and no tiebreaker assigned. Poor old Yoda aged about 10 years, but he's decided that we're just going to do a rematch on Friday, and I assume there will be a couple more tiebreakers written into the rules for Friday.
I certainly hope so.
Shout out to the Bonsai Lemmings and the Magnus Hates Everything team. We're going to get to go one more time.
You know, it really doesn't get any more fun than that.
Well, poor old, who was streaming? Mords was streaming.
Yes.
He was having internet problems. So it kept freezing, and then it showed tied, and he jumped to the thing. He says, okay, who wins? And it's tied, and he froze again, but I think he was literally, I don't know what to say. I've never seen a tie in a 5v5. It was very, very entertaining. So I'm not sure if he's going to get to stream again. I hope so. I think, Call Me T. I think Call Me T was lined up to stream.
He can't.
Couldn't he couldn't this Friday again, so hopefully Mords can jump in and do it again.
Yep, hopefully.
It was funny. Mords' reaction was so good.
Yeah, one of the best events that I've been a part of. So
yes. We have the Clone Wars coming up. May the 4th is the date. So this is hosted by Sky and Barky, Sky Barky Productions. Just a quick reminder that this one is, you need to make your first attack. So it'll be a friendly war. Open any town hall level. You make your first attack within the first 12 hours of war. And with your second attack, you need to attack again with the army comp that was used against your base in the first round. So, challenging, especially if you are good at some, Lalo attack or something like that, then you can counter, or you have to try and counter with that other guy's attack. So, should be fun.
Definitely.
If the signups open for that, probably by the time the podcast release, signups will be open for that. So,
yep.
Jump in, any town hall level. May the 4th spin. May the 4th war, so probably May the 3rd spin.
Excellent.
What else is going on? Oh, Redthorn. I think I saw win 589. So we're just 11 wins away from War 600. Hopefully we can spin a 50, get some friends in.
Mm-hmm.
Redthorn runs so heavy now and so many accounts, it'd be hard to get too many of us in, but we'll just push out some alts and get a couple of friends in there. Should be good.
For sure.
And who else?
The Rated.
The Rated is closing in on win 400.
Yeah.
I'm not in the Rated. How many wins away are they?
Good question. We've been struggling there a little bit lately. So I don't think we're as close as Redthorn.
Good. We don't want to have to try and manage that on the same weekend.
Yeah.
Maybe we could match them both against each other.
There you go. Perfect.
That would be unfair.
That would yes. All right.
So, if you give me, about 10 seconds, I'll be able to tell you about the Rated.
Okay.
And I guess that's been about 6, but I'm ahead of schedule. So my clan has 388 wins. So
oh boy.
Oh wow.
The stars could align.
Oh dear. So today we're just gonna talk casually about Clash and anything else that comes to our minds. So let's do a little bit of a refresher on us for any new listeners. For anybody who hasn't heard our stories in previous episodes, tell us a bit about yourselves, what town halls you play, how did you get into Clash of Clans, and a brief Clash history, and how you found your way to Redthorn. Fado, do you want to start us off?
I'll start. us off. So I am an old guy um,
Dead
who
stop.
plays Clash. Been playing Clash about 9 years because I started on an Android device. Um, and it came out, I think it was about a year after it hit Apple, it came out on Android. Um, and I can't remember what my first screen name even was, but I landed on Fado. That was my a name I used to use when I played like first person shooters back in the day. Um, and it's named after a bar in Chicago where I used to watch a lot of soccer back when I was young and didn't have kids and all that. So just seemed right. Um, we play a 15 that is maxed for what's released for 15, a 14 which has the last couple bombs finishing up.
Ooh.
And I do have like a 9 that's max, and I also have a 12 that's way rushed. The intent of that was to donate sieges back when I needed, when they weren't as easy to come by. Um, how did I get in? I don't know. There was a time about 6 to 12 months after I started playing where I asked in-game chat, like, "Real, is this all there is?" Because there was no clan wars, right? And
Hmm.
it was
Hmm.
just endlessly farming and building up your own profile, I guess, really, right? So yeah, I mean, I how did I get to Red Thorn? I retired kind of, not like it was a big deal. I just had had enough after there was like a Town Hall 5 thing in like 2019, I think. That sounds about right to me. And it was a competitive 5-on-5 thing, and that was like the last straw. I was like, this game is just not for me right now. So I ended up just kind of putting it aside, and I figured out that wow, I have some extra time now, and I just lived without it for about a year and 4 months, and Kat had a spot for me. Um, she's always trying to bring idiots in, and I fit that bill pretty easily. So yeah, that's how I got there. Before that, I did a little CWL with Bad Intentions, did a couple leagues with the Rated as well. But I was you know kind of on the outside looking in. There were some really good hitters in BI. Some who I've even, and with AYS as well, right after that. And there was some in there that, wow, it was really cool to watch them. And it was no skin off my back to be benched and stuff with those guys around, because they didn't have to bench me. Like the writing was on the wall. I got it right. And it's just like, look, I'm just not performing to the standards you guys need. Um, and so, but with all that going on around the same time, I was like, yeah, that's their game now. It's not mine. So
Hmm.
I stepped aside and eventually came back to Red Thorn, and I've been here for almost 3 years now.
Oh, time flies.
That's my story.
Peter, how about you?
So I am playing a Max Town Hall 15 now. I have a almost max Town Hall 15. It just walls to go. I think I'm under 40 now, because I didn't really think to spend my raid medals on resources, but we'll get to that, I'm sure. I have a relatively new 14. I have an 11, a relatively new 11, a pair of 10s, and a Perma 9 that I really enjoy playing. Actually, Outlaw's been spinning some Moors and Shiny Gemeralds, kind of gearing up for SCWL week, so those are fun. Those are fun wars when you can, between the Razes in there too. So I think we spun a 10 with two people that aren't playing, like aren't active in there, and so we were able to have two perfect wars. So I do like playing the low Town Hall levels. I've been trying to teach myself Lalo, so my
Nice.
next challenge will be Town Hall 11. I'm assuming I'm going to need to queen charge into Lalo for that one. Fado? What are you thinking at Town Hall 11? Is that probably the go-to attack?
I was never an 11v11 guy. That happened right around that window where I was just like, forget it, right? So, I was a 10 hitting up against 11, so I
Oh
didn't
yeah, I
play
remember
much of
those
11.
days. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So how did I get started? Well, we saw that Super Bowl ad, and I think my kid gave up video games for Lent, and then while Lent was going on, he said, "Oh, Dad, after Lent is over, can we play this game, Clash of Clans?" And I said, "Well, sure, I'd really be interested in looking at that." So he was about to go into high school, I think, so we joined the high school's clan. But of course, we were very low level, and we got kicked out of that clan because we didn't really know what we were doing. And we landed in some family clan, and he kind of outgrew it. So I took over that account also. That family clan was very much into engineered builds, so actually Zarch started as an engineered 9. The single cannon and no wall stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's come a long way. I caught that one up. And
Mhm.
Inconvenient was my son's account, so it's new 14, and I haven't really spent any money on it, so that's been fun.
Nice.
And then after the family clan, I ended up in Buy Forever. I listened to their podcast. What was that one called? Opted in. I really liked that leadership talk, and just the same struggles that they were having, we were kind of having as a family clan. So that was cool. Ended up in Buy Forever. Family ended up in Spartan Lore, which was kind of the recruitment arm at the time. Shout out to Norma. He was quite involved in recruiting and stuff. And then things got turmoilish in Buy Forever, and a group of my friends left, so I kind of just said, well, I had enough of that, and off I went looking for something else, and landed in a push clan out of Australia, of all places. Shout out Lee. And the time zone just didn't work out. I was missing out on things. They were doing friendly wars, and I was asleep at the time, so started looking again and found a Canadian clan. It was like, oh, I know Red Thorn. That was Cat's clan. Well, I think I used to see a post in Buy Forever, probably in VM server. Can't remember where else. So made the introduction and came over, and the rest is history.
Rest is history. For me, I have my max 15 in Red Thorn and my 99.9% max other second 15 in Phoenix Reloaded. And then I've also got a few other accounts hanging around. Got a 14 I'm trying to farm, and a 10, a 9, and my poor little Town Hall 2 account is now a Town Hall 8.
Oh.
So I've kind of ground to a halt on that one, just trying to find time to farm it all. So those are all my accounts. And getting into Clash of Clans, I kind of stumbled into it because my son started playing and he wanted me to play with him. So of course, the same old story, joined some clan we found on Global. And then of course my son got bored quickly and I ended up staying. And Red Thorn, I ended up in Hollow Graves because I had been in Clash Babes and met some people through there, which it really opened up a lot of doors for me in terms of meeting people. I got to know ODS there and a lot of people that I'm still friends with today, and got invited to go over to Hollow Graves and play there. So I went there, met the people from the Rated, and then when Hollow Graves folded, we started Red Thorn, and here we are today.
How long has Red Thorn been in existence, do you think?
In its current incarnation, since 2016.
So almost 7 years?
A friend had given me Red Thorn, which they had made as just a sort of an event clan. And so when Hollow Graves folded, they gave me Red Thorn. And that was in September 2016, I believe.
I think we did an anniversary war last year in the fall. And I can't remember, because that was the impetus for us to figure out like what exactly was the birth date. So if we dig a little bit, we'll find it.
I will dig. All I have to do is go back to the very beginning of our Discord chat. So I'll find out what that is.
Wow.
So let's just ask some fun questions. How did you come up with your account name for your main account, Beto?
Oh shoot! So I already answered that, haven't I? It was named. There's a bar in Chicago. I think it's pronounced like Fido, but I don't even care how anyone pronounces my name because it's not even my name, right? What am I going to do? Get upset?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to open myself up to a lot of like shots with that one, but there you go.
Peter, obviously.
Yeah, so Peter is my name, and W is my first initial of my last name, and 67's last year the Toronto Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup. And it seemed very important at the time to get that out there, but it's been a lot of years later and they still haven't won. So
I know, and you're holding on to those gems for when they actually do win the cup.
For when they actually do.
march right in, and it's going to be Peter W41.
Yes, for all the
Ouch.
people that are expecting really cool stories on how we got our account names, it's not going to happen because Kat is my name as well. So there's no interesting backstory there.
The fun one actually then is Zarch Fernard. That was my son, my youngest son. He was a bit of an artist as a kid, and he had this character called Mr. Chef, and his arch nemesis was this, I don't think food critic, because he wouldn't have known about that, but this guy that was called Zarch Fernard, and so he would ruin Mr. Chef's things, and he would scream, Zarch Fernard! So they became like his swear words, and I just thought it was such a great name, so.
It is a great name.
So if I come back from one of my usual performances and I say, "Boy, I really zarched that one up," you wouldn't be like offended, like
No.
I'm saying I did it like Peter.
That's like cursing without getting starred out, or like asterisked out in Redthorn chat.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if we say this, if you say it enough, your name is just going to turn into a series of asterisks.
But whatever you do, do not say "nice hit, lolly," because that gets starred out.
Hit. Lolly. Yeah, still can't figure that one out.
Yeah. So, favorite Town Hall to play and favorite Town Hall 15 Army comp and why? Beto?
Well, so Town Hall 15 is not my favorite Town Hall to play because it's, for me, a casual. It stinks. Like, I'm not good enough to consistently feel good about my attacks. So I'm bouncing between like Super Archer blimps with drags, Super Archer blimps with Wallow, and Blizzard with Wallow, and and it's all about the same effectiveness.
What was your favorite Town Hall then?
9.
9.
Hands down 9.
Yeah. Peter, what about you?
You know, I think I like Town Hall 15. I like all the new shiny toys and the challenge of it. I'm in the same boat as you, Fado. I just struggle all the time. I'm also doing Super Archer Blimp into Electro Titan P.E.K.K.A. Smash. Kronk asked me this morning, I was, up and doing stuff, and then came in and did my 2 attacks, and basically back to back, and he goes, "Okay, I understand how you can get your troops so fast. How the heck do you plan so fast?" And I was like, well, use the blimp to funnel for the eagle early, and the rest is just drop and pray. And he's just like, "Okay, thanks, Peter." Okay.
Yeah, for me, I think Town Hall 9 is probably my overall favorite Town Hall to play. It's just always near and dear to my heart. Town Hall 15, it's a struggle for me. I can't really find anything that I can say, wow, I think I can really have a shot at tripling with this. I'm kind of fluctuating between Queen Charge Hybrid and I'm, the Super Archer Dragon Hydra thing. But nothing's really consistent for me. And that's probably me as a player because I'm pretty casual. Eventually maybe something will click and I'll be able to triple again, but we'll see. If you could be any troop in the game, what would it be and why? Peter?
I think I like the Valkyrie, the spinning attack and that kind of thing. I think that's pretty handy to have.
Beto?
If I couldn't be a villager taking naps around my Christmas trees, then I guess I would be the Barbarian King because he's chill, he's fun, and then he just goes ham and then goes back to sleep. That's kind of like the life of a dad, right? You go to work, you come home, kids are crying or kids are arguing, and it's like, do I have to be the Barbarian King?
I think I would be the super wall breaker because you just run at a wall and just explode and that's it. You're done.
Uh-oh.
That's dark, Kat. That's dark.
That's the way I am. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Clan Capital. We're going to delve into that a little bit deeper later on, Fado, but do you still enjoy it and why or why not?
I enjoy it for the rewards. That's about it. It is kind of fun playing with different troops in a different arena. Like you don't have, I don't even know the names of the troop. Is it it's like that huge aerial thingamabob that shoots skeletons. That's fun. I can usually find ways to either get a base into, for the most part, if it's if it's one of the lower level ones. But I'm not one of these people that's like FCing and trying to master and get every base into. So it is what it is. It's a diversion, I guess.
hmm
You were building bases for a little while, weren't you, Fado?
Yeah,
Dabbled
I
in it? Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, it was funny because like if you look at the first handful of districts on our map, it's like, oh, that's different, and then you look at like the bottom ones that we unlocked much later on. It's kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Peter, what about you?
I still enjoy it. I think it's tricky when we're moving people in and out of clan that, we want to come back and promote Red Thorn's clan capital, so it gets a little dicey with people shifting in and out. That's my biggest lament with the whole thing. That,
hmm
why can't we just assign those medals to go somewhere? But I get it. It is what it is. I still enjoy playing it. Just the distraction, though, like Fado says. Not committed to always getting the down in 2, but we try.
Yeah, I'm more or less enjoying it. Like you say, it's a distraction. It's a bit of a hassle during SCCWL when we are all over the place, like you said. Trying to get people back in to do their capital raids and what have you. But overall, it's got its pros, it's got its cons. We'll delve into that a little bit more later on in the show. If you could ask Supercell to do one thing to the game right now, what would it be and why?
I will take this first. One thing in the game right now and why. The one thing I think that would actually improve my quality of life the most is exposing a little more info on when you're scouting a base for a clan war hit. I've talked about this on previous podcasts, but let me see if there's a flag there. Show me who's called it. Show me how many times it's been hit. If the clan castle has come out, I would love for them to show it, but I doubt they would go that far. But any notes and whether it's called, I think that would be a big win.
Super handy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like some strategy upgrades.
The ability, actually, another thing, almost like an in-game sketch would be helpful. I know you probably chuckle at that, but you could really easily share a plan. I haven't shared a plan with any I think only once in the last year have I said, "Hey guys, what do you guys think of this?" with a drawing or something.
But you do often see people discussing plans in game, and it's really hard to communicate, how you want to come in at a certain base, and being able to, pop up a quick drawing in game would be nice. But I don't think they're anywhere close to that.
Oh, I don't think that's a true wish. I don't think that's coming. But I think the stuff like as you're scouting a single base, like that doesn't seem like a stretch.
No, that seems doable to me. What about you, Peter? I'm still looking forward to the revision on the super troops. I think we've talked it to death, but just the 3 days is a little bit too much to want to experiment. Like I don't think I've rented Super Bowler since kind of they first released. It didn't work for me right away. I shifted back to whatever was meta at the time, and I've never really gone back to them. I need super wall breakers every day or every attack, so I've already used one slot constantly. I would be neat to have some more flexibility, just to be able to play around. Open more content.
Yeah, I agree. For me, I would like to see a bit of a balance change to the defenses in general. I think a lot of players are frustrated at the moment in their lack of ability to 3-star. And it's not that I'm saying that the game needs to be made so easy that every time you hit a base, it should be tripled. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's just part of the fun in playing the game is going in and figuring out a plan and being able to go in and triple. So maybe some of the defenses are a little too overpowered. So I don't know what the fix is, whether they need to, buff the heroes, like add 5 more layers to the heroes. I don't know. But they need to do something because I'm just hearing a lot of frustration from people in general at Town Hall 15. So,
wow, it's almost like you were listening to me talk before we hit the record button.
Almost. I do occasionally listen to people. So this kind of leads into my next question. Most hated defense in the game or most liked defense? Fado, tell me.
I just think I can't handle the spell towers.
Mhm.
I just can't. Um, my favorite defense? I like it when I see a neutral zone trap in the NHL. That's kind of cool.
Boo,
The
hiss,
left wing
boo,
lock.
boo.
I mean, I know the Devils kind of brought that on, and it killed hockey for a little while. But after the strike, they got rid of the 2-line pass, and that was that for that.
Peter.
I'm sorry, I was trying to keep up with which game we were talking about. I think the eagle is the most devastating for the attack I'm doing. Against heroes and things like that. That eagle is really tough. It's important for me to get it down in my attack, so I'm going to say eagle as my most hated defense if
Yeah.
I don't get it down early. I think the poison tower, or the spell towers, is kind of a unique thing. I just maybe Supercell could tweak that so you can't have both the same, and then maybe we get a little more variety than double poison all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. The defense I dislike the most is the monolith. It's just the worst thing if you're trying to queen charge.
Oh yeah.
If you can't rage through it. I've been told, use a spell on it. But I've tried that a few times and it doesn't seem to really have any effect for me. Maybe I need to take 2. But it's so strong and just
Against
melts
a
your
hero,
heroes.
it really is, yeah.
Yeah.
But the hogs should be able to handle that, or the miners, right? Of course you lose some,
Right.
but they can plow through it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if you have like troops, it's not quite as devastating to your troops because it can only pick off one at a time, right? But
yeah,
if you're queen charging, or your hero's just too close to it, it just you can kind of go bye.
Yeah, it is very tough on the old royal champ.
Yeah,
when she's out there alone.
Most like defense. I don't like any of them. So
Scratch that question.
Oh gosh. Let's go and talk about the greatest achievement in Clash that you can remember for yourself. It doesn't have to be like attack-wise. It could just be anything that you feel you've accomplished in the game. Peter?
Maybe not within the game, but within the community. I feel like I belong in the CFF. Our Red Thorn is a super duper environment. I think I contributed to it. Maybe not so much recently. I don't feel like I'm in the chat as much as I used to be. And I know, and we've talked about this on previous episodes too, that just, I don't know, the game's changed. It doesn't feel like you're forced to be inside all the time. There's just other stuff to do. But yeah, I think the Red Thorn community inside the CFF I'm proud of that. Proud of being involved with it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I guess fooling you guys into thinking I'm co-leader material is a pretty good accomplishment. It's weird because if you go back thinking of all the time you spent in Clash and you've done a lot of wars, there's always an attack or two that stand out. And I just had a really clutch attack a long time ago at Town Hall 9. That one, for whatever reason, that one sticks out. Like there was a really cool hit up I did as part of BI. That was somewhat memorable. But I've never been on a team that won a league. I've barely played in leagues compared to even people in Red Thorn, right? I've only participated in like a grand total of like 2 league seasons total. So just greatest achievement, I guess, not getting banned, not doing this with a clean nose and a clean account this long. I have bought some gems along the way to help speed things up. But for a very long time, I think through like Town Hall 11, I never gemmed heroes, so I would just be grinding. I finally gave that up once I got to like 12 or so, and I was like, man, you're just missing so many wars. You look at my star count, you can see like for as long as I played, my war star count is really low. Part of that's ability, I'm not gonna lie, but
no,
you take
you're
a
not
year and a
supposed to
half
say
off.
that.
You take a year and a half off, and you take Town Hall 9. You end up taking like months and months and months at a time off. If you're not gemming your heroes,
especially back in the good old days.
Yeah, no books, no hammers, nothing. It's you and your pocketbook for gems.
Just you and those gems.
Yeah, no clan games either for that. So back
Yeah.
then.
How about you, Kat? What's yours?
One of them would be just being part of VM when we won CWL Invite Season 9. It was just a great experience, just being part of that team and seeing what goes into winning a championship. It's a lot of dedication and work. But I think if I look at my greatest achievement, and I'm not taking credit for this on my own because I think Redthorn is made up of every person in the clan, but I think just putting together Redthorn and keeping it together and putting the right people in positions of leadership, Fado, and making it a place where we strive to make the game fun and keep it a game, and there's no drama. So, I think when I look at Redthorn, I consider that as my greatest achievement.
Thanks, Kat.
You're welcome. Now, segueing into the most embarrassing moment in Clash, Fado.
Oh yes. There's this when I'm scouting a base. There's this little button on the bottom right that says attack. Basically, anytime I hit that, I'm liable to have my most embarrassing moment, and there's a lot of them, right? Actually, like the most embarrassed I've been is like freaking rage quitting. I've done that a couple times. And actually, I'll do it because I'm so frustrated, and I'll walk away. I'm like, "You're such a jerk. Why did you?" That's embarrassing to me to do that.
Yeah.
And was that like when your Blizzard got baited? Do you recall the situation? I mean, I'm sure everyone can relate.
Absolutely. It's always when like, well, there was a E Titan in that clan castle,
Oh
and I
yeah,
didn't spot it.
that's
And
joy. Yeah, mine is similar. Yeah, I think it was SCWL and that push clan. And, I don't think it was even a very aggressive, it was probably a log launcher ground base attack, and I got a 0-star. It just, nothing went right. I caught every bomb, I caught every spring traffic, just nothing made it to the town hall. And, that's hard to take when, those guys were all very, very accomplished attackers.
Yeah, mine is similar. There's nothing more embarrassing than 0-starring live on stream.
Oh yeah,
that happened to me a few events ago against Green Arrow's base in an event, and it was a base that I'd hit many times in Legends, and just nothing went right. And I looked, and everything was dead, and I had 0 stars.
Yeah,
it just it is enough to make you want to just walk away from the game for a few days. So, what is your favorite hobby or activity outside of Clash, Fado?
I try to be active for someone my age. So usually it's the time I can either get out to exercise or just throw on the MetaQuest 2 that I've got and do some FitXR or something, because it really is like stepping out of your own world, whether it's virtual or where I go to exercise. It's both. Like they're positive environments. There's generally no distractions, and it's a good. It feels good to do that. I'm not like a fitness buff. I'm not some big strong guy, but it's good to get out and feel like you're doing something good for yourself. And lately, the last 3 months or so, that's kind of been the thing that's putting smiles on my face. Obviously, my kids are very busy. Um, they love the things they do. They're passionate about the things they do, and that is rewarding as a parent. It's not about like the results, but just seeing them get better, want to get better, and them realizing that the work that they're putting in is paying off. That's also very fulfilling. So it takes up a lot of my time. You guys are parents. You know how much how demanding some of the kids' activities are, but it's also rewarding when you find out that they're passionate about it and they're enjoying it. And yeah, so yeah, a couple things there, I guess, not just one.
Peter.
I don't think you have to ask this. I think everybody should be handed a pair of hockey skates and a canoe paddle at birth. I love, 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 love canoeing. It's harder and harder to get out, though. I'm kind of near a big city, and other people have kind of found that hobby. So, you end up going further and further afield to get, the peace and tranquility or the aloneness that the canoe brings.
Mhm.
So,
You threw me for a loop there. I thought you were going to say golf.
I absolutely hate golf. I'm enjoying learning it, but it is not my favorite thing. Gosh.
Oh no,
I'm
this is
still
quite the
struggling.
change.
No, I'm enjoying the journey. I'm just terrible at it. Some days it's like, I got to go practice, but ugh.
With as little as I've played, but I do know this about golf, that there's obviously skills in being able to hit the ball, but it is such a mental game. It's you against the ball. It's not like the pitchers beating the heck out of you, right? It's not like the other team's getting up and down the court or the ice better than you. It's you and the ball, and how quickly can you get back on the horse? Like you've got to be able to put a past failure as immediate as it was right into the rearview mirror.
100%. Yep. And I'm just practicing right now. It's going to be very different out on the course. I've been hitting off a mat now for, 6 or 7 months. So I'm ready for real grass and real wind and no more simulator stuff. How about you, Kat? What's yours?
Oh gosh, my current favorite hobby outside of Clash is marbles on stream.
Now, are you still playing marbles? I thought it kind of tailed off.
Oh gosh, no.
Okay.
Season 42 just started, and we're all grinding our way for our next Gemron point.
And what level are you of marble person now?
What level?
At some point, you were ranked like in the top 100 and something. Weren't
I'm yeah. If season resets, and yeah, I'm way out of it right now.
Okay.
So it's just a fun thing to, especially if you have a bunch of people on voice together and everybody's doing this thing. Just fun because you have zero control over any of it.
That's kind of like my Clash.
It kind of feels like Clash, but a little bit more fun. Yeah. so that and reading, of course, but yeah, those are my hobbies at the moment. Let's chat a little bit about hero pets. Are you still using the Town Hall 14 pets on your 15? And if so, which ones and why? And which Town Hall 15 pets are your favorites? Beto?
Sure. I am currently using the unicorn only. It's paired with my queen. I haven't mixed up my pets in quite a while, but I'm thinking potentially of swapping, maybe poison lizard in for Frosty. Because if you can tell, like obviously I'm frustrated in Legends. I'm frustrated with Warheads. I need to try something different, right? And I saw some cool attacks where the poison lizard was part of a Warden Walk.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, that's useful. That's more useful, I think, than Frosty in that situation. So, but my favorite one, I'd like to see if I were to use the Phoenix with the Royal Champion. That seems like a pretty cool combo that I'm not using. But by far, I think the most useful one that came out was Diggy.
Mm-hmm.
That stunning effect is pretty good, and Lassie's value was really in tanking. Say you went into a single with your RC, like it was always good to get started off with a couple of hits on the single, for instance, before it starts burning up your RC. But Diggy has kind of the same or better effect in a way that it also stuns the defense a little bit. So I guess of all of them, that one seems the best one they came out with to me.
Peter?
Okay, so which one are you using with your queen then? The unicorn, and then what are you going to put with your warden then if you're not got the...
Frosty, the snow walrus.
Oh yeah, okay. So I'm also using the unicorn still. I don't find the poison lizard terribly, what's the right word, tanky. It gives up the ghost, like it charges ahead too fast and usually gets killed early. I'm doing that super archer blimp, so sometimes I did try it with the warden, especially if there's a hero on the edge, but it's too fast. Like you're waiting to use the warden tome to get the blimp, and the lizard's already died. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't found very much use in the lizard, although I have seen it on cleanup. It is terribly fast, like amazingly fast. I do like Frosty with the Queen. Anything that can tank those defenses and even slow up the damage from a single, I found very, very, very valuable. I do like the Phoenix with the King. That extra bit of life out of that big tank has been a lifesaver a couple times. Plus, the Phoenix is really quite a tank in its own right. Air defense is tough on it, but Archer Tower can't take it down before it can take the Archer Tower down.
Yeah. And for me, I've just recently taken the Owl off of the Warden because to me it's just dying. The way the bases are set up at Town Hall 15 pretty much dies immediately if you're doing a Warden walk or anything like that. So I've thrown on the Poison Lizard on my Warden. Especially, I've been told, if you're doing hybrid, it's really good to have that with your Warden. So I'm trying that. I've got the Unicorn on the Queen and Diggy on the RC and Frosty on the King.
Okay.
And I think my favorite is probably still the Unicorn, just for that little bit of extra healing ability.
What would you think if the Supercell gave us 5 more levels of those Town Hall 14 pets at Town Hall 15?
That
too overpowered?
I really can't see them doing that. They're more likely to give us more levels on the 15 pets, I think.
Yeah, I guess if they were going to make a change to pets, is let the casuals like me take 2 pets per hero.
That would work. That's interesting.
2 sieges per siege. 2 clan castles per siege.
There's a new clan benefit coming. There we are.
Exactly. Maybe we'll see it in the spring update. You want to talk about that, Fado?
Yeah. So Builder Base 2.0 is on its way. There's been some more information dripping out in the last little bit here. So I don't know if they're leaking it or because I know Darian and Judo were collaborating on some content. So how do you guys feel about the Builder Base changes coming? Or does it feel like, are you looking at it through the lens of, oh boy, now I have more to do in the game? Or are you actually, excited to see it?
Go ahead, Kat.
You can put me on the spot. Okay. I'm lukewarm to the whole idea because I think we have more than enough going on in game. And to be frank, I'd kind of just like some time to FC and practice my main village attacks. I don't need something else to upgrade. So I'm kind of scared that that's what they're going to do is they're going to dump a whole bunch of new levels on us that we'll be forced to go in and max something on the builder base in order to be able to use it over on the main village. So I'm a little nervous about that. So yeah, not really looking forward to Builder Base 2.0.
How about you, Peter?
I agree 100%. I really do believe Clash is just a little bit too busy right now. We did a show on it not that long ago, and it just there is no real downtime. There is no good week for events. There's that 1 week right after SCWL, and I know this group is already kind of, thank goodness it's over, and you don't really want to be setting up for something else. So I hope it's something good. I hope it brings new people to the game. But I don't necessarily need more to do. I'm content with the main village. How about you, Fado? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like I think on both of my accounts that I'm regularly playing, so my max 14 and this 15, they're both max and builder base. So I felt like mission accomplished in a way once you get the 6 builder. So it did render it a little less meaningful, and it's only there for clan games, is what I think a lot of people think. So with me, it's like I'll wait and see. Let's roll it out. Let's see what it's like, and who knows? It does need a little spicing up, but when you're playing the same game for as long as we all have, they have set the bar so ridiculously high for themselves that even when they're putting in loads of effort to make this change, that we're so spoiled that we can sit there and say, yeah, so what? It's kind of a weird position to be in. It should make you take a step back and realize like just how much this game even is. Like this is a humongous mobile game by now.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts, and I'm sticking to it. So, all right. There's another piece of news that came out this week that, immediately made me go, "Oh, come on, man." So Supercell is going to be limiting the number of times you can redeem raid medals for resources in the shop. And believe you me, that helped me get through some of the things, I think, on my 14, where I'm not as actively farming all the time. Um, so, oh, I have a free builder. Let me just buy a little bit of gold here so I can get this, I don't know, this expo going, what have you.
Hmm.
So yeah, my initial reaction wasn't very positive, but Kat, I want to hear um, your reactions. It starts Tuesday, and the new thing is one instance of each resource per week.
Right. And that just applies to resources. It's not the potions, like the magic items. So you can buy as many green potions as they allow, because those are limited anyways. You can get 3, right?
Right.
I think 3 every 3 days, I think. Is that right? Or 4 days?
Something like that. But yeah, like I could go in, like you said, and I need 25K DE so that I can unlock a super troop. I could do that multiple times, but now you're only going to be able to do it, once, right? So, hearing a lot of negative reactions from people that I've spoken to, because, like yourself, if you're farming a lower account and you need a little bit of extra loot just to get that next defense going or get that hero upgrade, and they're your medals, if you want to spend them, why shouldn't you be allowed to?
Well, Kat, that's the most demanding I've ever heard a Canadian be. Peter, can you top that?
Sure. I think that it's fine. I mean, you're paying now or you're using something to not play the game, right? Like farming is part of the game, right? So you're gonna use some other resource to gain a new resource. I don't know. They haven't done that for us before, right? We've begged them in the past for a bank that we could exchange Dark Elixir for real Elixir. Remember at Town Hall 13, I guess it was, right? Well, we were all maxed on Dark Elixir for ages and ages and ages. So they never gave us an exchange then. I'm okay with it. I was talking to C-Note on Friday after the Spring Fling, and he said this is how he's been farming all his mini accounts, because of course he has so many, it's impossible to farm them all. He can just go through, do raids once a weekend, work through all his accounts, and have enough resources to last them the week to upgrade stuff. So, I see it from we want to develop the game point of view, why they're taking it away after such a long period. Did they just come to the conclusion? I'm a little uncertain on the timing, but I'm okay with the change.
Because they did post an explanation, right, Fado? So
They did. They've made many mentions in the past about the Clash economy. And I think their explanation is that it's necessary to maintain the longevity of their content, to create a balanced and engaging gaming experience for everyone. And they thank us for understanding. So I can see the longevity thing. Like I think we've talked in a previous episode. Sorry, Peter, real quick. About wanting to ensure people are spending the right amount of time in each town hall level. So that's my only thought on it. I'm not saying that's right or it's wrong. Peter?
yeah.
But they're pushing people to upgrade. They don't want us to stay at Town Hall 9. They want us to go up. So, I think by giving us those resources, by raid medal, they were allowing people to progress more quickly. I thought they were denying that player an experience. But we had Darian on. He just, the experience is at the top, not at the middling thing. Yes, we're living in the past and all those things that he said. I don't know. It's kind of mixed message for me.
Yeah, I agree. Because it seems almost like they miscalculated. And I mean, you can have everybody up at Town Hall 15, but then you've got nobody coming up from underneath to support the development. You know what I mean? If the tree is too heavy at the top, it's going to tilt over and collapse, right? So that's my analogy.
That sounds like a heyday kind of problem.
I'm surprised you didn't use iceberg as the comparison, but
there you go. I should have. Yeah, I just think it is mixed messages, and I think they've just they want to slow people down as much as they're pushing people to upgrade to the next town hall level. I think somebody's had this conversation over there and said we need to slow some people down, and otherwise everybody's going to be clamoring for the next town hall 16, and we're not going to be ready.
Are we ready for 16? I would say no, right? We're
No,
already, yeah.
Maybe in 2 years.
Well, I was thinking about it yesterday. They're already 6 months in,
Yeah.
and they're on a 1.5-year schedule. So
yeah. I imagine we'll see more stuff at when they drop Builder Base 2.0. We'll probably get some more walls and a couple of small things for the main village, but I don't think we'll get too much.
They need content. They're gonna have to think of something.
They are. That's why we're getting Builder Base 2.0.
I don't want that content though. I want main base content, please.
Well, let's jump right into this question. Do you feel Clash of Clans is in a good place right now? If so, why? And if not, why not? Fado?
Oh God. It depends on whose perspective you're asking, right? Like I think judging from what I'm seeing, the pros are very happy. Me, I'm not happy. Like, is it fun? It's lost its fun for me right now because, it feels like it's not easy to just say, well, I'm just going to start attacking this way. And then a couple weeks later, you've got it in. It takes a lot of work to learn a new strategy, learn how to break down a base for that strategy, etc. So, and I'm almost like, well, I put a lot of time into this game. I have a busy life outside of Clash. Like, I frankly don't care enough to be like, I need to get better. I know, no offense to any of my clanmates who are listening to this. I don't care enough to get better. Like, I'm just there. I'm there because I like the people. I'm not there because I'm loving getting 60% 1-stars and legends 3 times a day. So for me, the game is not in a good place. Like, am I quitting? Nah, I don't think so. But that's me on March the 26th. I don't know what I'm going to be like on May 26th when the birds are chirping, the flowers are blooming, and all that.
Fair enough. Peter?
Same, exactly. The sentiment around the clan is one of frustration. People can't seem to find something that works consistently for them. They look at a base and say, well, Super Bowlers is going to do this, and it can be baited and trapped, and it destroys the troops, and they can't make any headway beyond, the opener. And good for the base builders, right? They were at a disadvantage for a while, but I think they really have the upper hand now. We talked about this early, right, when everybody had upgraded offense, because those are the things you can kind of gem, or they're worth gemming. And then the defenses took a little while to catch up. Well, everybody's defensive caught up, so it's tough on the average guy.
Yeah.
And Fado, you said the pros are happy, but what is that? Maybe 60 teams of 5 guys, so maybe 300 people are happy. That seems like a bad ratio to me.
Base builders are really well. Think about it though. Base builders get paid per base. Like, their bases aren't getting burned as quickly. So maybe they're not as happy because there's not as many bases being purchased. The overall defense is so strong right now. I'm not gonna say it's overpowered, like, because I'm sure if any of us really dove in, did what we think it might take to get better, then I'm certain results would improve. But I'm not at the point where I care enough to do that, or spend money doing that. Really, it's just, because when I think back to the times I was enjoying the game, there wasn't as much going on. And I'm not saying I can't tackle complicated problems, but maybe I can't tackle complicated problems or several complicated problems all at once in a very short period of time. Because it's not like you have 3 minutes to solve that problem. You usually have like 5 to 10 seconds to solve that problem at most. And so I'm just kind of like, there were ways to Town Hall 15, I'm finding relentlessly, what's the right, I had the right
challenging,
word, disappeared. But it's just, there's so much there that everything, it feels like so much has to go right for you to triple, whereas before, the word I was going for was unforgiving. There's forgiveness in a lot of, like, I'd say even up there like Town Hall 12. There is a lot of forgiveness in attacks. You can overcome mistakes. Um, Players like me, let me preface that. Players like me could overcome mistakes in Town Hall 12. Maybe not so much a disastrous blizzard, for instance, but the Town Hall 15, like, it is completely unforgiving to me. So, and that's why I'm frustrated. It's like, well, this is over 10 seconds in.
Yeah. I mean, for myself, I have to agree with you both. It's, when I think back to, when I first started playing, it's like people were so excited to get into the game and, you know, you'd be playing on the bus, sneaking in attacks at work,
Hmm.
perhaps. Nothing really got in the way of us playing. And now 10 years later, people are burning out and they're, when I talk to people, they're very frustrated. They're taking breaks or quitting the game. They're just, the game's not fun for them. And I think Supercell needs to look at that and say, it's fine to make the game more challenging because the pros are sort of like the new shiny toy, and you've got the Worlds and ESL and all this, and they're demanding the game be more difficult. But then don't forget about the average player who wants to pick up the game and spend maybe a couple hours a day on it and have a reasonable expectation of tripling and just enjoying the game. So I think they just need to take a good look at that. Now,
Right,
let's
'cause at
talk.
the end of the day, we're all in the same level
Yeah.
as a pro, right? My base is the exact same level as a pro's. My
Yeah.
troops, the exact same levels. But it's nowhere near as fun for me because I just stink at it compared to them. And
Well,
it is what it is. And,
and you think of how much time the pros are putting in each day. They're doing those 5v5 wars day in day out for hours a day. Some of
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
when you get up to the high level esports teams, like that's what they do. They spend hours honing their skills and on voice talking strategy, where the average player doesn't do that.
And their paycheck depends on it, so good for
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
All of ours depends on something else. So
Exactly. So let's chat a little bit about what we do. We're podcasting. Thought it'd be fun to just chat a little bit about how we got into podcasting, stuff like that. So let's talk about that. Fado, how'd you get into podcasting?
well, I was asked to be on once and someone said I was interesting listen. So, um, I got asked to be on more, and here I am. It's not something I actively pursue. It's actually, and I can say this unless they're listening right on the other side of a door. Like, I don't even tell them I need an hour. Like, my family being them, I don't even tell them I need an hour to be left alone, guys, because they'd say why, and I'd say why, and then I would never hear the end of it, and they'd seek out the episodes and just rag the hell out of me. I almost said a word that would have needed to be beeped. Maybe hell needs to be beeped. I don't know. Um, so that's how I got into it. You know, I see that you want us to maybe talk a little about my favorite memory. I think my
Mhm.
very first episode with you guys was one. I did one with mules that was also on camera several years ago. That was kind of fun. Not as memorable. I don't remember it all that well. I just know that I got a kick out of being like, people found me interesting enough to want me to be a guest. I guess that will always be more so than anything that's ever happened on a podcast. The honor of people thinking I'm interesting enough to hear my voice is it's still to this day is kind of like, really?
And if you could interview anyone in Clash of Clans right now, who would it be and why?
Um, I had a bunch of people in mind for this, but I'm really struggling to nail one. So I'm just going to throw one out there, and that is, Klaus from Queen Walkers, because
Mm.
I would love to, and I would love to hear about what goes into his plans that are always so creative and exciting to watch and clever, and on top of that, successful. Like, who
Yeah.
else could have barged their way to triples at Town Hall 14, right? So, um, I would love to interview him because, I was rooting so hard for them in Worlds last year. I was so happy, and not like I'm a fanboy or anything, but I was so happy for them because they were so consistently great. That I'd love to know what it takes. I'm sure it's a ton of work, and also getting to know them more as Clash people is. Um, and for example, when we had Darian on, it was such a good
Hmm.
conversation even before we started recording. Um, just getting to know him. Such an interesting guy. Everyone's got a story to tell, and if we had people on to just talk about their favorite attacks only and things like that, and not about the person, then I probably say thanks, but no thanks. This is not a long term thing for me.
Hmm.
How about you, Peter? How'd you get into podcasting?
Oh, well, this is my 50th episode today. So way back when Kat started Pineapples and Thorns, I'm not sure what happened. I think maybe her third episode guest fell through, and she just put it out there. Want to be on the podcast? And I said yeah. And you know what? I had so much fun. I had no idea I would like talking about Clash of Clans as much as I did. In hindsight, I should have seen it. I do like to hear my own voice. So. But actually, I'm going to make this announcement here. You guys already know, but this is going to be my last podcast with Pineapples and Thorns. No, not. I'm going to say that again. This is going to be my last consecutive Pineapples and Thorns podcast. I'm going to take a little break.
Yes, Peter's taking one episode off, and we'll.
Yeah, and I can't even say why. Kat's asked me why, and I think I've said what I wanted to say. I don't know that I have anything new and exciting to say. I do like doing it. I like the player interview part. I love talking about the leadership stuff, but just I'm ready for the next stage, whatever that may be. And I don't even have the next thing planned, other than I want to kind of rededicate myself to Red Thorn and being in chat and being in game and kind of being
Hmm.
present there. I feel like I've fallen down on that, and it just life has become different. It's post-COVID stuff, and I don't even know what it is. It just felt like I was. I don't want to say in a rut. It was just the same, and I'm ready. I'm ready for the next thing.
Fair enough. And do you have a favorite podcast memory?
You know what? I really loved that first one. Like I said, I had no idea. I thought I was just going to be there to fill time, and I really enjoyed talking about Clash of Clans with people, like-minded people in the same position. It's what dragged me to Buy Forever, was listening to the guys in the same position talking about the same problems we were
Right.
having. Yeah, it's neat to be related to.
Fair enough.
And how about you? When did you start podcasting?
Well, I've kind of been guests on various podcasts through the years. I was guests on the original KGH podcast a few times, and then when Jezza had his podcast, I was on that, and I really enjoyed it. And eventually, just kind of stepped into the role of co-host on the KGH podcast, and then that kind of folded. And when we were talking in the CFF about restarting podcasting again, got together with Rusty and Butters and Tip, and we started Pineapples and Thorns, and then when needed some new podcast hosts because the other guys, just for real life reasons, had to step away, then I was very grateful that Peter, you and then Fado agreed to come on, and it's been a great run. And Fado and I will do our best to keep things going, make you proud.
We will.
Thanks.
I can't promise a lot of golf talk, but I don't know. I usually give Kat a harder time in Discord than on the pod, whereas Peter, I give you a harder time on the pod than in Discord. So I'll have to figure out a way to translate some of the thanks Kat stuff I do in Discord over to the pod.
Amazing.
Yes.
What's your favorite memory, though, Kat?
My favorite memory, gosh. There's been a lot of highlights. I guess probably just having Darian on and getting
Yes.
the chance to talk to him and get, like Fado said, get to know him as a person outside of his appearances on the various dev videos. It was a real pleasure, and he's just a super nice, genuine person. So that's probably my favorite memory. And if I could interview anyone right now, probably either Itsu or Judosloth would be great to have on the show. So if they're listening, the DMs are open. Hit us up.
Oh, hold on. My Discord's blowing up, Kat. Right in the middle of an episode. Thank you.
Amazing. Do you guys have any shout outs, Fado?
I shout out Peter, and only Peter. This is a special time.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a patient guy. Peter is I don't know. I can't say enough nice things about you, Peter. You tolerate my silliness. You I think you do, at least. You might go home and think nasty things. Probably.
No, man. We're both old dads. We both make the same jokes.
Yeah.
If you didn't say it, I would have.
And because Peter, like you, Kat, you embody what Red Thorn and what I think a lot of online games should be. It's a welcoming place. We will not suffer drama, and that is nipped in the bud. And you guys set an example that everyone needs to live up to, or else they can go find a different clan. So thank you. That's
Thank
my
you.
shout out.
Peter.
Well, I've shouted out a lot of people over 50 episodes, so I'm going to shout them all out again. I do not know who you all are. I'm sure I can think of some of you, but yeah. You've made the journey fun. It's been fun. And thank you, Kat, for understanding. I didn't want to kind of leave you in the lurch. I know we've been talking about it for a bit. It's not easy to go, but it would have been easier to just run away. So I'm hoping you understand that I just going to walk away slowly rather than run.
Hold on. I need to go into Discord and change my name to The Lurch.
Oh, gosh. My shout out is to Peter. Thank you for coming on and being my co-host for so long. Sorry. I really could not have gotten this far without you. And you're one of my dearest friends. So thank you.
Thank you, Kat.
And thank you, everybody, for listening. The CFF is a family of clans in games such as Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, and many of the other Supercell games. We love to provide content via podcasts and other media. You can visit the Clash Files Discord to apply to any of our clans or to support our pods and events. As always, please send us your comments, ideas, and questions on Twitter at RedthornCOC or join the Clash Files Discord at discord.gg/ClashFiles.